Hello everyone. Today I'm covering One Piece. Until fairly recently, I didn't even know what One Piece meant or what it referred to. I have never read the manga. I haven't watched the anime. I have occasionally played a little bit of some of the One Piece Pirate Warriors games because they are entertaining, they're fun, they're pure escapism as far as I can see. And I never found it too difficult to follow along with whatever bit of the story they were telling. But otherwise, I really knew very, very little about it. Until just recently, when the Netflix series about the Straw Hat Crew appeared and we watched it avidly, we were completely entranced. And Poodlepa said, "This is the best thing by far we have seen on Netflix all year." Now that is some praise. So we are now in the category of freshly baked One Piece fans. I remembered that in one of my videos about collecting for the PS3, I had mentioned a Pirate Warriors game, and I said I had this one for the PS3. Pirate Warriors 2. And then I said, there obviously is a Pirate Warriors 1, or just called Pirate Warriors, the original game in this series, but I didn't have it at the time. So I sort of kept an eye out for it, but there aren't that many copies around anymore, certainly not in my part of the world. And when I saw a copy pop up one day on our New Zealand trading website, I was gobsmacked. Someone wanted 90 New Zealand dollars, that's 60 US dollars, for a beaten up old copy of Pirate Warriors for the PS3. And I thought, nah, I'm a collector, you don't fool me. And I thought for $90 I must be able to do better than that. I went on to eBay, and one of the first things that popped up on my screen when I put in One Piece Pirate Warriors was the Japanese TreasureBox. Now, I hadn't even thought of getting that. I wasn't even aware it existed. But what had me mesmerised was the price, because it came to exactly 90 New Zealand dollars, including shipping, import charges, import tax, everything, $90. And I thought, this is an easy choice. And I looked at the TreasureBox, and I've got a few of those, and they're always quite nice, really. And of course, buying from a Japanese seller is, in my experience, 9 times out of 10 is a good experience. The items tend to be well looked after and in good condition. Now, this is one of those stories. It wasn't straightforward because the seller, while listed as shipping internationally, did not have a shipping option for New Zealand. Now, that happens an awful lot. I have mentioned it before. A lot of the time, it's just such a hassle. You try and contact a seller, they either don't reply or they're uncooperative. It can be very frustrating. But I had a good feeling. I thought, I'll just try just one email and let's see. Well, this turned into quite a bit of a correspondence over getting the shipping and the order details and the payment sorted out. And the seller was unfailingly helpful and polite. I was lucky in that he was able to write to me in English. So we got it all sorted out. Even with the simplest, least expensive shipping option, it never takes that long from Japan, so probably 3 to 4 weeks at the most. I received My treasure box. One Piece Kaizoku Musou, it is called, the Japanese title. So while I've already obviously had a look and checked the contents, I've left everything as it was packaged so you can see for yourself. And we'll have a look at that in a moment. I just wanted to show you the back of the cover, the spine. The story doesn't end here, or no. When I opened the box, a piece of paper fell out, a folded up letter. I wasn't too surprised because I've had that happen quite a lot with Japanese sellers, that they often send a little personal note, which I think is a really, really nice touch. So I opened up the letter, and that's when I had a real surprise, because out fell a small slip of paper, which the seller refers to as a bill. I immediately thought it looked like the little slips of paper you can purchase at shrines for good luck or something similar. And I'll read you some of the letter because it's really interesting. Further information for reference, if you want to follow up, as usual, is in the description below the video. Hello, thank you for your purchase. I feel sad that COVID-19 is widespread all over the world. Like the people of the world, all Japanese people are scared of COVID-19. I went to Chitose Shrine in Chitose City, Hokkaido, and I got a bill as a wish for COVID-19 to converge. I assume that is meant to say something a bit different, but you can yourself figure out what he's wanting to say. The bill has an ancient Japanese monster called Amabie written on it. Amabie has been handed down as a monster to ward off the plague in the old days of Japan in 1846. People are said to have escaped the plague by painting the Amabie. This is an old Japanese story. It is said that COVID-19 cannot enter the inside if this bill is attached to the entrance. Please use it if you like. That is what we're going to do. Poodlepa's going to get it laminated, then we'll put it on our front door. It may take a long time, but the world will surely regain peace. May you stay healthy. Make a wish from Japan. Thank you. Thank you, Masato-san. That was a much appreciated gesture. And I also appreciated getting this lovely box in such good condition. So here's the Japanese game. And when I received it, I thought, okay, I'll have to play it in Japanese. That didn't really alarm me too much, because if you know a bit about the gameplay of Pirate Warriors, the games all follow a similar scheme or pattern, and all I needed to do was really learn some of the menu words that I could recognise them and some of the commands. Yeah, the story and dialogue, obviously, I would have missed out on a bit, but I thought at least I can play it a bit. And then after a while, I thought, I wonder, it would be nice to also have a Western copy so I could play it more easily. And I went back on eBay, and wouldn't you know it, I found a really inexpensive copy of Pirate Warriors. So I got it. And those of you with an eagle eye, or those of you who are German, and I know I have quite a few followers in Germany, will have noticed the German USK sticker and the German text there. The game is, of course, in English and just provides a variety of other languages, as would be usual for European editions. And the only thing is that the manual is in German. But, of course, that doesn't faze me at all. Now, look at this manual in full colour, absolutely beautifully done. Those were the days when manuals like this were included with the game, just for a standard edition. I read through the manual in one evening and really enjoyed it. Everything, absolutely everything is explained. So the soundtrack's still in cellophane. So here we are, the soundtrack. And as far as I can see, there are only 10 tracks. Now here's the special item in the box, and we'll have a look at that in a moment. And the other special item, of course, is the art book. So One Piece Warriors was first released in 2012, but if you wanted to get it digitally, you are out of luck, because it was delisted back in 2017 from the PlayStation Network. Now, the second game, Pirate Warriors 2, is obviously available physically in the European region and also in Asia, but it was only released digitally for North America, no physical. And, of course, once it was delisted, also in 2017, access would be very difficult in North America unless you import a copy from another region. Pirate Warriors 3 came out in 2015, but I do not have a copy of that. The only version I have is a digital one on my Vita. However, Pirate Warriors 3 and 4 are also available on the Switch. Now, the game series is called Pirate Warriors. I always associate that with the Warriors play style. However, the first game, when I had a look at it yesterday, has the Musou Warriors gameplay as one option in the main menu. The most important item would be following the main story, doing that gameplay. And this is the starting screen for the game. As was typical in that PS3 era, I think, they like to play around with a bit of fancy presentation and animation in your menu selections. And Luffy jumps straight in. It's kind of cute, isn't it? I usually adjust the volume of the background music a bit down for doing these video clips. So let's start the main story adventure. Pirate Warriors games have their own style, really. While they are very often Musou, due to the characters and the very specific story and fantasy elements in One Piece, I always think the games have their own characteristics as well that make it a bit different from other Musou games. But most recently, we've seen a One Piece game that is not called Pirate Warriors and has changed the gameplay style to more of a tactics RPG type game. So, an interesting move. All I can say is that I think they're all fun to play. The emphasis is hugely on fun with this series. Quite a few One Piece games have been published as well for the Vita. I've got one here that seems to be a very popular one, and copies of that have been and still are available quite easily. So yes, it's a veritable One Piece universe, and I think it's really easy to just hop in literally anywhere and start playing. But it does help if you have a bit of an understanding of what the story is about and who the main characters are. I certainly realised that it made a big difference once we'd watched the Netflix series, and then to go into one of these games. Yeah, the enjoyment factor is definitely multiplied, and I have a much better understanding of what's going on. And here we see the iconic straw hat.
もう2年か。
So it starts not right at the very beginning, but 2 years into the story. Interesting. Now this is an arc I do not know yet, the Shabondi or Sabaudi archipelago. I believe in Japanese they pronounce it Shabondi. So here we have Zoro and Sanji. I like the look of the cutscenes, by the way. What do you think?
なんで片言だ、幼児か。文章で説明しやがれ。
Yep, typical humor.
よし、後でお前切る。それよりあっちの島騒がしくねえか。
And what was so noisy? You'll find out in the next clip. So I really recommend both. Watch the Netflix series if you'd like to, and if, like me, you haven't read the manga or haven't watched the endless episodes of the anime series, then that's a really easy way of getting into One Piece. So have a look at this. When it said on the description that there would be these little enamel plaques, I thought, but once you look at them, and you know how I look very closely at everything, I think you'll agree with me that these are pretty cool. So we have 15 characters here, and I'm amazed how many of them I already know just from having watched season 1 of the Netflix series. So here is our boy, Monkey D. Luffy. And there's a little clasp on the back, so it is in fact an enamel pin. Zoro. Handsome 3 katanas. Nami, of course. I thought her backstory was handled really well in the series. Incredibly popular Usopp with the Pinocchio nose to symbolise his penchant for, let's just say, somewhat exaggerated and dramatised stories. Sanji, the wonderful chef, and 2 important adversaries. Buggy the clown. I can't begin to tell you how impressed Poodle Pa was with that sequence in the Netflix series. He thought Buggy the Clown was just extraordinary, just brilliant. That's what he thought. And Mihawk, who also appeared in that first season. The others covered are Robin, of course, Frankie, Brooke, Hancock, whom I don't know yet, Whitebeard, Chopper, who hasn't appeared yet, Ace, and Jimbe. A really lovely set of 15 enamel pins of One Piece characters. And finally, of course, the art book. It's obviously in Japanese. but it is organised the Western way, from left to right. That's the contents listing. And it consists mainly of beautiful, glossy character illustrations. These two you will see in one of the video clips I prepared for you from the game. So, what was that noise? Oh golly, he looks scary. A humanoid weapon?
海賊麦わらのルフィ確認
Don't tell me that's my first enemy I'm facing in the tutorial. But here we see straight away, oh, cuties. They did love their cuties back then, and I'm not big on them, to be honest. But they're clearly a part of the gameplay here.
またお前俺の邪魔すんのか。騒ぎ起こしたら出航しづれって言われてたのに。
安心しろ。出航する必要はねえ。ここでお前を捕らえる。
無言の
I remember some years ago I used to play Pirate Warriors on my Vita. I recall there's a lot of button mashing going on, and also the button combos, which have to be done pretty fast. So I notice now that I'm finding it a bit harder already, and after about half an hour of gameplay, my right wrist was really hurting. Back in those days, they weren't big on accessibility. Nowadays, you would probably get a few options to make it a bit easier on your hands and fingers. But look who's now got Luffy firmly in his sights. Ooh. Look, there's Buggy the Clown, and the two ships Going Merry and Sunny. The ship Sunny features importantly in the latest game, One Piece Odyssey. So for anyone really interested in the One Piece world and the characters and settings, this is definitely a treasure trove. The art style Eiichiro Oda uses looks to me always like it is very over the top. It can look rather exaggerated, but that of course gives a lot of scope for heaps of, fantasy. Characters with one exaggerated stroke are really brought to life. It's a wacky universe for sure. The One Piece Pirate Warriors game was developed in commemoration of the 15th anniversary of the manga and anime franchise by Eiichiro Oda. And this game spawned a very successful series. The Pirate Warriors series is by far the most successful one of all the games based on One Piece. I really hope the Netflix series will carry on being popular and successful. I think that would be great. And I will continue to play One Piece, Pirate Warriors and other One Piece games whenever I feel the need to completely switch off and enter a different crazy world where the strong bonds between the Straw Hat crew members helps them to navigate the world of the Grand Line and beyond. So what is gonna happen now? Surely I will need some extra special, humongous attack.
Yes! Second!
目標確認。
海賊王にこれは何？行くぞ！ゴムゴムのコマンドガン！
So now I get a unique action. I hope that will do him in. I had run out of ideas, but there's always QTEs to come to the rescue.
Yeah, second. Get the pistol!
Now they turn up. Thanks, guys. What a cinematic finale. Please enjoy this cutscene which concludes episode 1. This game has boatloads of enthusiasm.
一応様子を見に来たが問題なさそうだな。
ああ、レディー、2年間本当にいろいろありがとう。
改まる柄じゃない。早く行け。
レディー、俺はやるぞ。海賊王に俺はなる。
Thank you very much for joining me on this little trip through the One Piece world. I hope you enjoyed it. Please keep well. I'm food for dogs. Bye bye.